Hello, this is for God's sake, wrong tournament. Hello, this is SquishiVision, and I'm about to watch for the first time the Book of Boba Fett official trailer for the series that's going to be on Disney Plus very, very soon. This is following on from the success of The Mandalorian. I don't think this series really needs much background information. If you're watching this, you probably know who Boba Fett is, a character who, you know, has a lot of popularity despite actually until very recently having very little kind of any impressive screen time. I mean, there's been a whole bunch of extra EU content made on the character, but even before that happened, they were very popular from their brief appearances in Return of the Jedi, where lest we forget, they pretty much get accidentally killed by accident when someone accidentally hits the jetpack and fall into a big alien mouth hole. But apparently that was enough to expand an entire mythos about the Mandalorians, which then leads up to the part where we get to the Mandalorian as a TV series, and then we're able to introduce Boba Fett. And the first time actually on screen, we see a very impressive Boba Fett, and that's the first time actually on screen. I think there's actually that the character lives up to the legend. But like I say, the character probably using for introduction. The background of the series. It's set after the post-credit scene of The Mandalorian Season 2, where Boba Fett takes over Jabba's palace, starting a new era on Tatooine, along with his companion, played by it's past midnight here in the UK, and my brain the coffee hasn't kicked in yet, so I've just completely forgotten the name. Felix Shand, plays by Ming Na Wen. I'm so glad I searched that because I was about to say something else completely different. And in a sense, this was in development since 2013 because there was speculation that we were going to see a solo film on Boba Fett. And I think a lot of the Disney Plus shows we're seeing now are actually repurposed from solo Star Wars, standalone Star Wars films. I can't say solo films because that means something else. Standalone Star Wars films, which I think is a shame because I actually enjoyed, Solo, and I thought Rogue One was okay. So I kind of was hoping they would, but I mean, maybe a show is a better place for it. Anyway, let's give this trailer a watch.
I am not a bounty hunter. I've heard otherwise. I know that you sit on the throne of your former employer.
Jabba ruled with fear. I intend to rule with respect.
You were all once captains under Jabba the Hutt.
I'm here to make a proposal that's mutually beneficial. Why speak of conflict when cooperation can make us all rich?
What prevents us all from killing you and taking what we want?
If you had spoken such insolence to Jabba, he'd have fed you to his menagerie.
Please. Speak freely.
Well, yeah, that's definitely interesting. So, I guess what we're seeing here is a gangster drama kind of show, where Boba is establishing his kind of rule on his section of the underworld, but in a very, I guess, Boba Fett manner, or at least how the character is being built now in 2020, 2021. He, is pragmatic about it. He's like, ruling with fear is a bit old-fashioned. Let's rule with some like respect, and let's use cooperation rather than conflict, which makes a lot of sense. He's being very pragmatic about all this. So I like that, but clearly some people see this as a weakness. So it's that kind of struggle between, but Boba Fett isn't a weak character. And he clearly has a lot of confidence and a lot of what's the word? He's got a lot of fortitude to him. So I don't actually know how many episodes is this meant to be? Have they announced how many? So I've not announced how many episodes it's going to be. But it's definitely, I imagine probably same amount as the Mandalorian. And he's keen to, I like the bit at the end where, someone threatens him. He's like, yeah, tell me more about what you don't like about my command, kind of jazz. It's an interesting kind of character moment, I guess, for him and the people who are around him. So we see kind of, we're going to get to see more of Jabba's palace. It's always nice to visit all places and see kind of in a different context and a different light. Clearly, it looks like a more lit place. Although we haven't really seen this area of Jabba's palace before, I guess. But I guess it's going to be, he has to do a lot of well, I guess I was going to say he had to do a lot of furniture change, but really, there was an interlude between Jabba being killed and him coming in, him being here where other people were in charge. So, coffee's almost done. Okay, he's managed to get all these droid assistants to help him.
I've heard otherwise.
And we see some. Oh yes, I like this shot. Obviously, he's walking down. And we get to see more of Tatooine. I guess at some point we're gonna have seen all of Tatooine. It's a very popular set and scene and location in Star Wars. Clearly. Oops. So we're revisiting Tatooine again. We're seeing more, and people clearly recognize. I think here, Boba, and the meeting with kind of other powers to kind of, I guess, establish their kind of network of gangsters. But this is an amazing shot of Tatooine, a shot which would probably be a very. This is probably a CGI, but it would be a very kind of complicated miniature shot to do back in the 1970s. But yeah, I don't know which city of Tatooine this is. I don't think this is Mos Eisley because I don't see the distinct arena that's in it. But it's clearly a Tatooine city. You see all the kind of spires and the bulbed topped towers. Kind of minaret shaped stuff. And then that's obviously the throne at Jabba's palace, and Jabba's throne room, which is a very kind of well-known location. And then we have it's great to see Tamara Morrison, being given some more kind of character scope to play around with. So it seems like a lot of his action is happening on Tatooine. Also, the design of these characters, so these are, what's Bosk's species called? Trandoshan. So these are a bunch of Trandoshans, and the character design of these look great. Tatooine, remember the first Trandoshan we saw, Bosk in Empire Strikes Back, was just a very static mask, and there's obviously no expression on the faces. Oh, so you can see the expression on that middle Trandoshan's face right there. It's obviously invited people to like a meal, but like the set design looks great. The character design, the alien, prosthetics. I mean, I don't know if it's purely prosthetics or prosthetics with some CGI supplements, but it looks great. And he's still got the pig guards behind him. I mean, I don't know if it's misleading or if it's indicative of the series setting, but a lot of this is set around a small particular part of Tatooine, which is a bit of a difference from Mandalorian, which you'd go to like the location of the week every episode, where here it seems more based on conflict around the same geographical area. Oh, I like how it has a hidden knife in a rifle. That's cute. And we got a focus here on a Twi'lek. I don't know if that's meant to be a Twi'lek that someone called Jennifer Beals plays. I don't know who Jennifer Beals is, but clearly she's another person that Wikipedia lists her as one of the cast members we're expected to see. And here we see Slave 1, although right, so let's talk about Slave 1 for a very quick interlude, I suppose. When they released the new Lego set Slave 1 back off the back of the Mandalorian, some Mandalorian merch, it was called Boba Fett Ship, and this upset a whole bunch of snowflakes who were like, oh, they're being too PC, not you to use the word slave, boo hoo, boo hoo. Despite the fact that Lego as a company tends to not use the actual name of ships in their brand, and they haven't done for ages for various reasons. I mean, there's the obvious reason that putting the name slave on a toy is going to damage sales, and Lego ultimately cares about sales. Consider the fact that Lego is quite a popular gift toy, so usually it would be a case of someone buying you this set rather than you buying it for yourself. And if someone buys it for you, and if someone buys it for you isn't a Star Wars fan, and it's, for example, a parent buying a toy for a child, what are they going to search? Are they going to search Slave 1, or are they going to search Boba Fett Ship? They're probably more likely to know who Boba Fett is than they are to know what Slave 1 is. Especially as if you're a child. You probably haven't heard the name Slave 1 either, because Slave 1 mostly exists in the expanded universe canon, and I don't know if it has actually appeared on screen. So if you're just new to this series, basically, if you're new to this series, you're not going to know what Slave 1 is. Or if you're a relative of someone who's new to the series, you're not going to know who Slave 1 is. Or if you're a relative of someone who is a big fan, or if you're a big fan yourself, then that's not changing anything, and it's not Lego's habit of naming of when they release other ships, it's usually named after who owns them, because that's the most popular name, and you're gonna name your item over what's gonna get the most views when people search for toys based on characters. That's just how things work. It doesn't change the canon of the ship. That was my argument at the time, anyway. That being said, and I've not looked at it in much detail because I've basically kind of with spoons to have to deal with reading the comments, which I'm not going to be tempted to do if I read an article. But I've seen some things about how officially 9 canon is being replaced by fire spray, which is in the class of the ship, rather than Slave 1. I hope that's not the case. I don't know really why I would do that, but I'm going to wait till it actually is established in canon. Like, I've actually seen something in show, because a lot of these articles are often clickbaity and don't represent what's actually happening. So I realize I might actually look for 180 and complain like the people I was just deriding a second ago. But if it gives an in-universe reason for the name changing, it doesn't pretend this was never the case, then fine. But then also, you got to remember that in canon, this was never actually named Slave 1. It never actually... I mean, it doesn't technically, this was meant to be Slave 2, because in the Senate EU story, the ship gets destroyed and he gets another identical fire spray ship, and that's Slave 2. But, this is all done away with now, and this is meant to be the same ship that Jango Fett had. But but that's never named on screen. So I guess it's not really a retcon in the big scheme of things. We'll see what happens. And he's like threatening Boba here. Interesting place to put all these monies in your helmet. These don't have pockets. I want to know the story behind that. And then, you know, they're all getting surrounded, and he's just like, who cares about your shields? I'm gonna bash your head in anyway. So hopefully we get to see some more super aggro Boba Fett in the same vein as the combat scenes we got in, what was the episode called? The Tragedy. Especially as Robert Rodriguez is returning, who directed the episode, as an executive producer and probably, like, you know, the creative controller of the appearance of the series. So hopefully we get a lot of the same kind of oomph behind it. And he's just like, you know, speak freely, just chill. Whether I know it's chill, we'll find out, I guess. Ugh, those eggs didn't taste nice. So yeah, this looks decent as a whole. I love the fact we're going to see a bit more of Tatooine. I guess I'm not quite tired of Tatooine. So yeah. And when does this come on? I think was there a date? But it said that it was meant to be broadcast December 29th. So I look forward to that, and I'll probably be doing post-watch reactions to that. So stick around for that. I'm going to do a very, very quick look at the very, very small teaser for tomorrow's Doctor Who episode. Oh, rather tonight's Doctor Who episode. And then I have a room to clean. So I'll see you later, I guess. Thanks for watching. I never know how to end these.